Hi everyone, welcome to Let's Talk Womanhood, and I'm your host, Temi-T. Hi everyone, welcome to Let's Talk with Temi-T. I have wonderful women here. We're going to dig deep into what's going on, and I hope you're all ready to talk. And I know that it's going to be an awesome time. My name is Temi-T, and you're welcome to the show. I'm going to start with all these wonderful women. Yay! We're in the house this evening. I hope you're
Hello.
excited.
Hello.
Every one of you, oh my goodness, you're looking gorgeous and beautiful as always. And I'm sure you're doing very well. So I'm going to start from my left to the right so that everybody will get to know you and see how you're doing, because the topic today is, how are you? And so I'm going to start with no other person than Dr. Selpiri Akobo in the house. How are you? It's so good to see you, Dr. Akobo. How are you?
Thank you for having me, Pastor Temi-T. And I'm really happy to be here sharing this wonderful stage with all these amazing women. I'm excited. I am really, really excited. I want to say that. When you say, how are you? That's a very loaded question. I must say it is really, really loaded, because it's just like a spectrum of emotions that, anyone can tap into. But considering what's happening, I am a healthcare professional, obviously. There's so much being thrown at everybody everywhere around the country and even in the world. And so there is anxiety that comes with that, family, friends, and just everything else. So I am feeling a little anxious, but beyond that, I'm also grateful, thankful for family, thankful for love, thankful for health, in general. So I would say that I am really, 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 really grateful, and really looking forward to hear about what all these other women are going through. And we can talk more definitely as we go through and how we're doing, and hopefully we can encourage each other in the Lord, and also, just with everything else that we know and are. So that's my spiel.
Yeah, one of the things for me is that we watch the TV, we watch all this online presence, with all this media, social media going on, and you're hearing different things. And I'm sure at this point, looking at what's going on, because you're a medical doctor and you're right there in it, how do you talk to us women at this time concerning COVID-19? Because the truth of the matter is, apart from the fact that we're mothers, we're wives, as a person, as a woman, how do we take care of ourselves? How do we encourage ourselves, especially at this time, with what you see every day when you're going into the hospital?
So one thing I always tell people that I talk to is the fact that when I see these things, I'm reminded daily of my mortality. And when I say this, what that does for me, it makes me value things. It makes me value memories. It makes me value relationships. It makes me value the little pieces of time that I can have. So like earlier today, I was telling my sisters, it's self-care day. So as a woman, I am very, very, very conscious of that fact that beyond me being a medical practitioner, and obviously I am dedicated to care of my patients, and then also just being, a daughter, a friend, and everything, where it feels like a lot of times we're just nurturing and always trying to take care of other people, I remind myself of the importance of self-care. So sometimes I unplug. It's like I just go away for a couple of days and just turn my phone off if I have to and if I need to. But the point is, I have to be rejuvenated, because then if I'm dry, I can't give anything. So I guess what I'm trying to say here is I would advise a lot of women, we're pushed always and just pulled in different directions. There's just so many things that people expect us to be. But it's okay to just stop sometimes and just say, it's about me now. I need to take care of myself. A spa date, obviously, doing in your houses because of what's happening, if you can. But, just take care of yourself, I think that's very important. I think I can't stress that enough. Woman, take care of yourself.
Thank you so much, Dr. Akobo. One of the things that is quite striking to me is what you said. Stop. Take a moment for yourself. Take a deep breath. You can't just keep going and keep going and keep going. Take care of yourself. When you pause to stop, is to take care of yourself. Not to get momentum to continue again, but to stop and take a deep breath and take care of yourself. So I'm excited. Excited to hear more from you. But let me go to Helen. Helen Gold is in the house. How are you?
Oh wow. I am fine. So like you mentioned being grateful. And I think one of the things I've done in the last couple of months is to be intentional about everything I do. And for me, it's mindset, just being grateful of the little things and being intentional. So when I get overwhelmed, because we do get overwhelmed, there's so much going on with work, we have kids, there's school, we're going back, are we not going back? So there's so much going on at the same time. And it's being intentional and, guarding your mindset and knowing, okay, there are things that I can control and there are things that I can't control, right? And there's always room to make adjustments and mends. What are the things that I can change? What are the things that I can control? And paying attention to that and just kind of letting the other things just be, you know. That's how I'm doing right now. And yes, it's so good to meet every single one of you, and I look forward to hearing your stories as well.
You're super. I'm super excited because you look different. You look relaxed. And you're always as beautiful as ever. I have Aya Egwo in the house. How high? Oh my.
Hello, hello. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. How is everyone? Hello, good to see everyone. All these lovely ladies. How am I? I'm definitely recovering from being being pushed to the brink of exhaustion. So what Dr. Akobo was saying earlier is so true. It's you really do have to take the time to take care of yourself, because if you don't, you will not have anything to take care of the people that maybe you're responsible to. And so I know in my life, I'm a mother of two toddlers, two little girls. I do have a husband. I have many responsibilities, actually, it feels like. And during the pandemic, when it hit, at least where I live in California, the quarantine was very serious. So suddenly I didn't have daycare. Suddenly my children couldn't go visit anyone. Suddenly we couldn't go to church. We couldn't go to the library. We couldn't go to the parks. So for having two small children and us being trapped in the house for 3+ months, it was really literally, I mean, I was just like really about to be like about to disappear off somewhere because I was so exhausted. And I wasn't prepared for those circumstances. Of course, those were very unique and maybe once in a lifetime circumstances. I mean, I've never experienced them before. So it's just really resonating to, it kind of changed my whole complete mindset that I can't take care of them if I'm not taking care of myself. So it's not selfish for me to be like, hey, I'm going to go do something for myself. Thanks, bye.
Awesome. So good to hear from you. I am super excited to hear your story, how you've been able to, the things you've been able to put in place to help you to get to where you are today. I'm sure you'll be able to share that with the audience. Let me go to Anna Prince Will. I love your head wrap. Oh my goodness. You from South Africa?
I'm from Niger Delta, Nigeria. Okay, hello everyone. I'm here. As you can see, I'm more relaxed than I usually am because when all this stuff happened, I think before it happened, I was just overwhelmed with everything. I just had a baby. I was working. I was going to church. I just felt I had so much to do and I didn't have time. There was not enough time to do all of those stuff. So I was overwhelmed that even sometimes before I had my baby, I had to step away from some responsibilities to try and get myself. In a way, I think this pandemic favored me because it just made me stop. Like you said, Celeste, you said it's time for women. I just stopped and I was like, and it was during that time I actually had my 40th birthday during that period. And I said, okay, I'm 40 now, stop. not about my 4 kids, not about my husband, not about the church, not about the job. Just chill. Like on my 40th birthday, I did nothing. I was on my bed and everything was done for me. So this period, it worked for me. Seriously, it did work for me because I had the opportunity just doing nothing. Do what you have to do what I have to do that is necessary and not go out of my way. In the beginning, I was just hustling with my kids, trying to get them to do work. Even when school was over, I was still giving them homework. I was like, I don't understand, am I going to kill myself? I just stopped. So I'm more relaxed, I'm more refreshed, and I'm preparing to go back to work, and I'm scared, but we're gonna see how it's gonna be. But I bless God at least. I thank God for everything.
Good. Tola Emmanuel in the house.
Go team.
Tola.
Okay, so I actually have similar experiences with almost everybody. I can pick this and pick that and pick that, So, but the first thing is when I thought about the question, how are you? I was like, okay, that is a complex question. It's not complicated, but it's just complex. In terms of, okay, what, how, which one should I go to? What direction should I go to? I could write a whole book about it. But, and then of course, when, okay, if you're asking me today, I can give you one thing. If it was a few months ago, it could be something else, and I'm sure many women can relate with that. So what I'll just say briefly is that, yes, at the beginning of the whole thing, the pandemic itself, it was like, okay, slow down. You were home. You couldn't go out and do things like that. It was okay. We're trying to adjust and all of that, even though we're all concerned about a pandemic that, had no regard for anybody, not the age, not the race, not the gender, so, and that for me, I also clocked, another year last week, I was going to say last year, last week, but, and I had to pause. I did pause. And I was thankful for life because, like we said, the pandemic came and it didn't matter who you were, so I just had to slow down all the pursuits, all the projects, all the goals, all the visions. It's because I'm alive that I can actually still pursue them. And started thinking about, okay, you need to slow down, take care of yourself, go for your annual screenings, de-stress, and things like that, So that was that. Then towards when the whole thing started with all the systemic injustice and all of that, now that was overwhelming for me. That was very emotional for me. For a few weeks, I was in another place because I guess just the reality just kind of hit me, just because of just who you are, just the color of your skin. You don't get to know me. You don't get to know anything else. So a lot of that, for me. But fast forward, of course, to last week when everything out, I was like, you know what? I'm glad that I'm alive, and we're just gonna take it a day at a time, a step at a time. And yes, that's the breather for all women, because we have so many roles, we have so many responsibilities, we have our own personal pursuits and personal projects, but we have to balance somewhat. So yes, that's where I am today. I'm well.
Thank you so much. Now we've met all these beautiful ladies. I want to go to your specialty, as it may be, and I'm going to put Stella again on the spot.
Dr. Temi-T, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to interrupt. How are you doing? You didn't tell us that.
Good question.
Yeah, you got to tell us how are you doing first, and then we'll go into other things. How are you, ma'am?
I'm doing well. This COVID-19 period has been a real blessing for me, honestly, because as all of you know, I'm a pastor of a church, and it's a full-time job. I have my home family as well, and I have other things I do. I was a student before the COVID, and I graduated from school for my master's in theology. So it's been a lot, but the truth about the matter, which is common to every one of us that I do here on this platform this evening, is taking a deep breath, stopping to take care of yourself. When I actually came into this year, my motto, my goal for this year was to take care of myself. The only thing COVID did to me that I didn't like was I didn't get to travel. I planned trips for myself to enjoy myself. I mean, get out and just take care of myself. So it was really, I was not happy about that, but I was able to find other things and to improve on myself. Improve on myself. And one of the things that I'm hoping, which is one of the things I will talk about this evening, personally for me, that I've been able to achieve and hopefully to also get people to talk about, is forgiving. How to forgive, how to learn to move on without holding grudges, without keeping those things, because those are the heavy load we carry as women. And we're so sensitive, very emotional, that knowingly or unknowingly, there are some battles we carry that we need to let go. So I'm hoping that in the course of our discussion this evening, we'll be able to touch on it. And the next one will continue because it never stops, right? We all learn every day. So I'm well. I'm grateful to God for this time to be able to take a deep breath, rest, spend time with my family, improve myself. And honestly, we're live, but it's better with the church right now that we have online presence. I don't have to run from one place to the other, so everybody stay at home. Your pastor cannot come and visit you. Woo!
Oh no.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you feel me.
You need to come and visit us.
Then I'm well. I'm well. Thanks for asking, Sarah. So I want to come back to you because our body, we have the soul, the spirit, and the body. I want to talk about the body first before we move to the other aspects, which is mainly probably what we'll be able to get to today before we move to the other ones, is that you find out, and this for me is personal as well, is that I don't know whether you guys have thought about it. It is the woman that goes through a period. It is the woman that goes through the 9 months. It is the woman that goes through menopause. It's the woman that takes care of the children, and all those chemicals are just going in and out, in and out. Now, combine it with COVID-19 where you don't have, I said to somebody, and I said to the person that the truth of the matter is that during this COVID-19, it's one or two things. And I've seen in terms of the demographics and the results we've seen that we've read, is that a lot of people actually went into divorce. And a lot of people actually got closer to their family. So it's on both sides. So find out that going out, you're just going out, coming in, you're fine, you come home to sleep, you cook, just doing the normal routine, as long as it doesn't disturb my space. But I want to ask you, Dr. Akobo, because women, we need to take care of ourselves. When I'm talking about what can we do as women medically, I don't know whether you have some vitamins, some things to help us in order to improve our being, our body, to carry us as long as we can. Honestly, I'm tired of hearing a woman died, left her husband. The number of women that have died compared to the number of husbands that have died is less. And that's because we carry too much. We do everything. We want to be the superhero, the superwoman, and we don't take care of ourselves. So talk to me, talk to us, because your life, what do you...
Can you guys hear me? I didn't hear the last part of your statement.
Yeah, you think you froze a little bit.
Yes, but if I understand your question, this is also very, it's multifaceted question you just asked me. So first of all, I'm going to say that women were unique beings in the sense that we all react differently to stress, differently to, exposure, whether it's to food we eat, and then you did talk about menstruation, you did talk about menopause. So because of our hormonal influences, we react so differently to a lot of things. So I'm going to throw that out. But there are certain things that I think, regardless of whether you're a woman or a man, if you did this, you can get benefits from it. In this time, with the amount of stress and just everything going on, obviously exercise is an important thing to do, regardless of, and I know that hearing all of you talk about kids, 3 kids, 4 kids, oh my God, I don't even know how you guys do it. But I can imagine that it's hard to create time to exercise But there are little things that you can do, it doesn't have to be like going to the gym, like literally just walks, even 30-minute walk a day, like a little bit of a brisk walk can help. And then beyond the exercise, what we eat, where will we eat, where will we eat? So as long as we have balanced diet, so I'm saying, like they said, the different colors, so peppers, carrots, fruits, vegetables, that helps a lot, right? And then beyond that as well, vitamins. One of the ones I swear by, vitamin D. Vitamin D's been noted to be pretty much an amazing drug, right? It's cheap. It's amazing. It's contributory in genetic makeup, so technically it modulates things. It helps with anti-inflammation, and we know COVID is an inflammatory disease. So vitamin D is it's an important and amazing drug. So if I was going to tell anyone to add anything to whatever it is they do, vitamin D. Now we're also pretty much melanated. So technically, and we don't all sit out in the sun. So technically, in general, if I would test everybody here, we're probably low on vitamin D, except you've been on supplements. So that's important. I actually take 50,000 units a week, and I've been doing this for a long time. I do that. And it's helped, whether it's the pain I feel in my knees, and it's an amazing drug. So vitamin D for sure. We hear about vitamin C, obviously vitamin C and zinc. I also take a supplement which a friend of mine who is an integrative fellow told me to take. It's called astragalus. I've been taking it pre-COVID, and I've been taking it through the time. It's an amazing.
Oh my God, I need a pen and a paper so that I can get all this down. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I can send you guys a text later. But okay. When it comes to that, I believe in vitamins. Sleep. A lot of people don't sleep. Sleep is really important. Sleep is when your body rebuilds. Sleep is when your body literally creates. And beyond just, a lot of you talked about, a lot of us are creatives, right? So, and when you actually get quite some good sleep, it helps. It helps you pretty much consolidate things you did the previous day. It helps with memory. It helps also your body rejuvenate. So these are some of the things that I can throw off the bat that I think would be helpful. Hydration, water, water, water. If you're not drinking, please drink at least 8 ounces of water a day. It's very important. I got water too. So drink, stay hydrated, please, especially now in the summer, with the humidity. Even in your house, you're losing some fluids because, you sweat. And so it's important for people to remember to drink. These things, I think, when put together, can help us, keep our immunity strong, because that's what the virus is, right? Your body fights it. There's so many conversations about what cure is out there, but the truth is it's a virus. And viruses don't necessarily have cures. Your body tends to put up, an immune response to them. So if you're doing all these things and staying healthy, then maybe hopefully, even if you got it, you'll be in the 80% people who are either asymptomatic or have mild symptoms, and you come out of it better. So I think that's what I would say off the bat. And obviously, as we go on, if something comes up, we'll talk more about it. But I really wish and pray that everyone is healthy and that we stay healthy for us and our families as well.
Thank you. Thank you so much. One of the things that jumps at me, and which you just said, is that people need to understand that knowledge is power. Virus don't disappear. It's not something that you give a medication and then it goes away. Your body still has to fight it with all the symptoms and everything that is going on. And so with all the things you have said here, obviously is to boost your immunity to get you to be able to fight the virus that is going on, especially this COVID-19. And so for me, I'm really, really particular about it. And I hope that every woman that is hearing would understand that she said vitamin D, vitamin C, she talked about zinc, and she talked about sleep. And what was the last one? I think it was astroculus. Was that the name of it? Yes, that's the vitamin that you need to get. So please, women, just go out and get these things every day. And I need to ask you a question, Dr. Kobo. Anybody can use it. Children, men, women, to fortify your immunity? You're muted.
I just unmuted. So I'm also going to throw this out. A lot of times, I guess this is a caveat, because people also have, comorbid conditions. A lot of people might also be on medications. Please discuss or talk to your primary doctor or your primary care provider before you take any of these. But yes, they have preparations for kids. They have and men can take it as well. So these things can be taken by anyone. But yes, please talk to your primary care provider. Please. Thank you.
Women, sleep, sleep, sleep. Very important, sleep. I can see the chat going on, everybody talking about sleeping. Sleeping is very important for us as women. And that's what I'm excited about. I'm excited about this because we need to get to sleep. Now I want to go to Tola. Tola said something that for me was actually it's been something that's been going on, and it trended from US down to the whole world. And I want you to talk about, you said it was a bit disturbing for you. It worried you at some point. And that's Black Lives Matters. It's a big discussion. It has its own, it's a broader topic as it may be. Under that topic, you have subtopics. And I see some women here that I'm going to give the subtopics on, honestly, because we need to deal with the real issue here. And so, Tola, I want you to talk to us as a woman. Why did that affect you so much? Why did that issue affect you so much as a woman?
Okay, so before I answer that real quick, I wanted to add to what Celeste said about women. We need to keep doing our annual screenings. Go for your physicals, go for all your OB screenings. No, we shouldn't wait until we have symptoms or anything before we see the doctor. I just wanted to add that. But then to answer your question, thank you, Matt. For me, I think that, I didn't grow up here. I think it just basically opened my mind. I was aware of, differences in terms of, race and color, but this was just like a different thing for me as a woman living here and that has children. So I began to see how it's really different, especially for our children. Many people may agree with me. I grew up in Nigeria, of course. I don't know where everybody else here grew up in. But there's just this thing when, even though you grew up in Nigeria and you go anywhere else, I came when I was older, you already have your confidence and your self-esteem, and you just go at it. Yes, you think I'm different. Well, that's on you. But it's different when you're growing up in the system. So I began to think about it in terms of our children. I began to think about the children around me, maybe in the church, or my nieces and nephews and my own daughters. And I was like, oh, wow, this is something where as adults, as older ones, we're going to have to help guide them in these times. Because even as we're also trying to boost their self-esteem and self-confidence, like something I said to myself, I was like, you know what? My faith also helps me. Like, this is how I was created. The color of my skin, God knows, and He made me that way. And I'm a wonderful piece of work, so it doesn't matter what anybody else wants to say, but even as we're trying to guide them to build their confidence and self-esteem, that they do not exist in hate or bitterness. So it's like, you have to combine this whole thing. And I saw that, oh wow, this is it's easy to say, but it's like a huge situation. It's a huge, it's beyond all of us. And then I started thinking, you know what? It may never even end. That's another thing. Like, so I'm just trying to tell you, when I said weeks, right? I'm trying to tell you where all my thoughts were going. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, it was like a spiral. I was like, you know what? Even before this thing has existed for years. Yes, there's progress. How far we've come. Yes, they're, try to put things in place and all of that. By the end of the day, see that the core of the heart of the individual. So the reality is that it may actually continue, maybe at different levels. So I was just thinking about all these things back and forth. And our children or the next generation or the people we have access to, and anybody of not only people of color, even white people. We have friends, we have colleagues, just having these conversations. So yeah, for me, it was a lot going on in my mind, and that was what I was processing.
Okay, we're going to take a little break and we will be right back. So don't go away. We still have more to discuss. Okay, welcome back. Sorry, we had some little issues there, but welcome back. I'm excited to talk to this wonderful women that are here this evening. But also, I was talking to Tola before the break about Black Lives Matters. We hear a lot of things here in US, by the way, of Black Lives Matters or things that have happened, the oppression of Blacks in this country and different things. But I want to go on another tangent this evening because, like I said to you, is a broader spectrum. Black Lives Matters is a broader spectrum. I want to talk about women oppression. We come from, I don't know where you're from, but I didn't grow up here like Tola said. I didn't. I grew up in the Federal Republic of Nigeria, where
I grew up here.
Second-class citizens.
I'm an American.
Can we go there? Let's touch on this topic. And then you have to wait and understand and things like that. Please, I'm not here to say I'm not a feminist or anything. I just want us to put things into perspectives. And so I have one woman here that is able to push this thing because she's talked about it. Most of the time when we're talking, she gets into it, and the passion is no other person than Ellen Gold. So I need you to talk to us about women, being a woman, and what it means to be a second-class citizen. Because you find out that the Bible, I don't know about you, but we know that we're all created in the same image. Yes, we're given different things to do, as in the man is the head of the home, we understand. But I always say this, I don't know whether any one of you agree with me. But before I became a wife, God created me as a woman. I have an assignment, I have a purpose. Before I now move to becoming a wife and a mother. Being a wife, being a mother, accolades I got on the way up in life. Example, Oprah Winfrey, she's not married. She doesn't have children. But if you want to define her, you say she's a philanthropist. So how do we as women find ourselves in all this? How do we be who we are, even though we're wives and we're mothers? How do we stand in this environment, in this country, in this continent where women, so to say, and please, it's not only in Africa, permit me, it's almost everywhere. Even here, they had to fight. Women had to fight to vote at one point. There's some people are still fighting. I remember I read a journal talking about soccer because my daughter plays soccer, and you find out that they're still not paying the same amount as they're paying men.
Yeah.
Male soccer, male, because they're saying that, there's not enough people that come to watch the women compared to the men. So how do we deal with these issues, especially for us that we have children growing up? How do you explain to them that, excuse me, daughter, your brother might earn more than you, your brother might be seeing better than you? How do you go on this journey with the story? So Helen, I'm giving it to you. I throw it to you. What will be your response to that?
I think as women, right, it's our responsibility. I have actually come to the conclusion that if you want something, you have to get it done yourself, right? So it is our responsibility as women. I don't know how much we can do with this generation or the previous generation or history, but there's so much we can do for tomorrow, right? We birth these children, boys and girls. We raise, we nurture these children. So it is our responsibility to raise them equally. As the males are growing up and the females are growing up, make them understand that they're equal. In whatever field or career they end up, make them understand the laws you make, the rules you make have to be equal for male
Yes.
and female.
Yes.
We can start to build that today, right?
Yes.
And 20, 30 years from now, it will change. It's not going to change if I'm raising two kids and I'm telling this one, you're this, and the other one, this is your role. This is what you're supposed to do. I say it every day to these children, and they grow up with it, right? So the man grow up thinking, this is my role. And the woman growing up thinking, this is my role. The self-esteem that our daughters have today, a part of it is our doing. Right? We put it in there. You have to sit this way. You have to talk this way. You have to cook this way. You have to act this way. Your husband, oh my God, he may not like you. Your legs are skinny. Your head is too big.
I told you.
Right?
Yes. Come on, girl. You better speak to the people. Yes.
Yes.
It is our job. It is our job. Confidence, first of all. I think it is my job. It is my goal to instill self-confidence on my child, my children, male or female, equally, right? A lot of the problems we have in homes is because we go in with expectations that have been instilled on us by mothers in the first place. So you can't do this. You're a man. You're the husband. So then why are you making me do it? You must not be a good wife because my mom told me I'm not supposed to do this. Expectations, right? So it is our job as women. There's so much we can do. We have this power. God is literally giving us this power. We birth these kids and we raise these kids. That's a ton of power. And we need to use it if we want to change the generation. And for what we have right now and what women across the globe are dealing with, for every woman out there, I say build yourself. Build your self-esteem, build a career, business, anything you can do to build yourself. Growing up in the church, I know that, now this is sticky, but I know that a lot of men kind of use the Bible in a way that they shouldn't use the Bible. And when they say, but the Bible said this, right? We know that God created Adam and Eve. Eve had a place. That's why God made Eve. And it was expressive in the Bible. Interpretation, however, it's what people are using to continue to oppress women, right? From generation to generation. I think the church has a role, religion as a whole has a role to play, right? With the interpretation of what is in the Bible. So the religion needs to step up and play that role as well. The truth is, at the end of the day, everyone just want to be respected, everyone want to be valued, and everybody wants to be.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
That's it. And if we can do that, if every man, every woman can just do that and stop putting the other gender down, the world will be a better place. Anything else you want me to add? Because I can go on and on.
I wanted to add something over there.
You know, what you said was that there's no human being that does not want to be respected and valued.
Yes.
No human being. And
yes.
that's the source of the issue at the beginning. A lot of families train up their children, their daughters, to become somebody, and then they're being shut down at their offices, looked down, or even when they get married, they're fighting, trying to stay on top and be heard, their voice be heard when they have a voice. And for me, it's quite challenging for me when I see that. I tell people that, and I say, no, you can't do that. And that's why I posted something, I think it was about a week or two ago, when I said, the fate of life is born in the hands of a woman. It's how you train your child or your children, whether male or female, like Ellen said, is going to be the outcome of what the child is going to give you. The child doesn't know anything better. You're the one training. So a woman has to be intentional about the things she do. Everything she does, everything, you have to be intentional about it. And that for me is very, very key, especially as a woman. Because at the end of the day, if you yourself as a woman, you're not strong, you lack self-esteem. There's no way you can give what you don't have. And you know that's a very key thing that I'm hoping all women are listening to. You cannot give what you don't have, and there is nothing that is too late for you to get in life. It doesn't matter your age, it doesn't matter where you are. You can make yourself better, you can retrain your children, you can get the best out of life. It depends on the way you see it. You can see life half empty, you can see it half full. It's dependent on your eyesight. And I hope that we're all listening and we're able to make this change. I want to come back to Aya because, you know, I'm excited because you said some things that you're getting better. Where you are right now is much better than where you were maybe some few weeks ago. And there's a lot of women that are also going through. But you know, we suffer in silence because we don't have a place to express ourselves as it may be. I don't know about you, but you want to talk, all the man is waiting for, just go straight to the point. But the woman will have to start from point A. When I got to point A, I met Mr. So and so, I greeted Mrs. So and so, and then I moved to this, and then, because you want them, it's like you're taking them into your journey of what happened. But the man doesn't have the time for, just tell me, okay, what happened? What happened? So you see, it's more like you're silencing a woman on that part. I don't know whether you get it. And it's as if, even though she has spoken to you, she didn't get to speak out, as it may be. So how were you able for yourself? What were the things you did to get yourself out of where you were and what you were going through? And if you don't mind sharing what you went through, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine. We just want to be vulnerable and let others see how best they can help themselves. So, Aya.
Those are really good questions. And, you know, one of the hardest things to face was that I was probably the architect of where I got myself to. And the reason being because I am married. I am married. We do share children. I was just doing way too much. You know, I was just doing way too much. And I realized I was doing way too much because I don't even think I even asked my husband to do anything. I don't even think I said, husband, can you help me with this? Husband, can you do this? I didn't even think I understood that I wasn't even asking for help. And so when the pandemic hit for me personally, I was not well. You know, I was not. Maybe other people were, but it was not well for me. And I definitely, you know, I do believe in Jesus Christ, so I definitely prayed all the time. And you know, that probably was the only sustaining grace in my life, just constantly, you know, going to God in prayer. But also getting the response, he's like, well, maybe, you know, your husband should do that. Or maybe, you know, maybe like the road that you're on is not sustainable, you know. And so that was for me to be, you know, very vulnerable and frank. It was just like, you know, hey, husband, like, you know, you need to step up, like today. You know, there's no runway, there's no like days. It's like, because if you don't step up today, I'm going to have a nervous breakdown and I'm going to have to leave. It's like, what? Because it's something that you brought up earlier. I would say that my husband is probably like most typical men in the sense of like, you know, get to the point, but also like you can tell him something and he doesn't take it that seriously if it doesn't come with a lot of emotion, like emotive things. But at the same time, if it comes with a lot of emotions, then it's dismissed. So it's like, if I'm emotional, well, you're just emotional, like, you know, maybe, you know, so, okay. Then if you say like, hey, you know, I'm not feeling good, I need some help, you know, help me now, or we're going to have to do something different. It's like, oh, what are you talking? Like, it's just almost like, this is not that serious. Like, maybe this is not that serious. And I have found for me, I'm newly married. Children are very young. We have two children. Children are very young. We're, still recently married. In the sense of under 5 years. It's probably kind of what Helen was talking about. Just so many things in my mind that just made me think I had to do everything myself. I had to do all the cooking and the cleaning, and I'm still working, and I'm still taking care of the children. Because for a while I was at home with our children, and then I went back to work. And that was really the breaking point, because when I was at home with our children, it was much easier for me to do everything. I don't even know why, but it was. But once I started working, it's like 10 hours just evaporated. Like I couldn't do that. And so for me, it was just really understanding that you're going to have to speak up for yourself, and you're going to have to stop doing things like it's okay if the kitchen's not clean, like just go to bed. And like your husband can clean that. Like, hey, can you wash the dishes? Like, hey, can you cook this meal? Like, can you cook one meal? So that was what it was for me. I mean, a lot of prayer. I'm not going to lie, just a lot of prayer. I can still remember calling my mother-in-law like one day. I'm not even really close to my mother-in-law, but calling her one day, like just in tears, like, your son needs to help me. Like, I cannot do this anymore by myself. Like, and I think the pandemic really highlighted it because, they weren't able to go, my children weren't able to go visit their great aunt. We weren't able to, we were just in the house all the time. So whatever was happening in your experience in the house is like what was magnified, like what was really, like, this is what you're really living with, and I really couldn't blame him. I really couldn't. That was also kind of, I really couldn't blame him. I really couldn't. I really could not. I really could not. I really had to learn that I had to like restart this whole relationship, being very clear on what I need, and not stopping just because he wasn't like, oh, of course. So sometimes he'd be like, well, I don't want to do that. And then I'd be like, okay, but you're still going to have to do it. And like being okay with that, and once I was okay with that, he does a lot more now. I can't even believe I didn't know he could do it. So that's helped a lot.
Wow. Asking. No, you raised your hand. I can see that you raised your hand. I guess you have something to say. Go ahead.
Yeah, I raised my hand a long time ago.
Oh, I'm
sad and I'm hurt, but it's okay. Okay, I'm just trying to lighten the mood.
That was quite encouraging. And no, take it off.
It was something Helen was saying, and I like to give examples because I don't believe in just talking in parables and talking like we have to use our own experiences to really emphasize what we're saying. So Helen was talking about the male and the female child, trying to treat them the same so they don't grow up. And one thing I've always done, if you know me, I have 4 kids. I just have one boy. And sometimes they try to treat him or make him feel he's a heir to the next throne of one kingdom, which I don't understand. But he wakes up, he says his prayers, he makes his bed. He eats his food, he washes his plate. He cleans his table, he puts everything, he plays, you put it back up. He gets mad and it tends to throw a tantrum. I want to hit his sister. I say, you dare not. Number one, you will never hit a girl. You have to learn that now, that no matter how upset you are, you're not going to raise your hands on your sister. And number two, they're older than you. You can't do that. He has his job, he has his responsibilities, and when he turns 6, like his older siblings, he's going to start learning how to boil rice. Oh, yes. Because I have an older cousin, he's a boy, and he cooks. His wife is enjoying him right now. He can cook anything because that's how his mom brought him up.
Right away.
Sir, ma? What do you say?
Phone number. Can we have his phone number? Right away.
He's married and he's married and so I'm really, really, really into that with my kids. I don't treat anyone, and that's how it should be. Don't say because they are boys, there are some certain things they can't do. They say when I'm in the kitchen or when I come back from the store, the girls come out to try and get groceries and help. I say, no, where's your brother? Go get him. Is if with the remote in front of the TV. I say, no, he needs to go out and get, because he's the one that is going to eat all the food at the end of the day. So he needs to go work for it. So I really, really appreciate what Helen says. And I think every mother, it's in our hands how you train
Yes.
them,
Yes.
what they're going to take
Yes.
to their homes and how they're going to treat their wives. So it's very important too.
Okay, I have a question, and this might probably be the last question we'll be able to answer today. Oh my goodness, I can't believe it's almost an hour. But the truth is, I've enjoyed every one of you. Because one of the things I heard Haya say, and that's one of the things I want us to discuss, is that how do we as women, why can't we ask for help? Do we see it as being weak? Honestly, I'm trying so much. Whether Dr. Akoko could come in, whether it's a medical thing, I don't see it as a spiritual thing, so I can't answer it, honestly. But I'm training to everybody. I don't know if anybody has. Why do we find it so difficult? Until we break down before we get help. And believe you me, even when we break down, we're still commanding them and saying this way, that. Why? Why can't we just get that pause and just take that break and just remove our minds from it? Why? Talk to me, women. Talk to me.
I just think we're used. I just think we're used to it. We're just used, because there was a time my husband and I were trying to set up this picture. If you see this picture behind me, it came down, so we're trying to put it up. I had a hammer in my hand and the nail, and he was trying to hold it. And he was like, "Oh, let me try to do it." I said, "No, I'm going to do it." Then I realized that let him do it. And then I changed my counting immediately. I just said, "Okay, come do it." And I gave it to him and he did it. They can actually do it, but we just believe that we just have to make everything right, because they say the home belongs to the woman. If a man fails, he doesn't have a strong woman behind him. If the kids don't do well, the mother is not. So we just have this mentality that we have to make our family right. It's our responsibility. So it's a subconscious thing that we just want to be in the forefront, try to make everything all right and okay. That's what I think.
Tola, talk to us. You've been permitted to speak by 2 or 3 people here, so.
In addition to that, I think that we may not even realize that we're doing that. We may not realize that you're not asking for help and you just keep going. And it's important, which actually goes back to the first thing that was ever said in this show, where you just have to pause, take a deep breath, look at everything that you're doing, and can I really ask for help? We can have conversations with our spouses and with family and people around, but if you don't realize it, then you keep going. And it's important that we realize that. Number 2, I also think that I had a second point, but for some reason I think it flew out of my head.
Let me jump in and probably will come back. But you see, I'm a bit concerned about this, because yes, we always forget that they can do it. Or is it because you want it to be done at a particular time and they want it at a particular time and they drag on it, and then you decide and say, I'm just going to do it myself?
Yeah,
that's actually my second point. Not time. Mine was weight. Like time is one, and then it's particular way that sometimes you feel like you have it in your head how this should be done. And if it's not done that way, then with what you said, it's not done when you want it done, then it becomes a problem. And sometimes we discover that, not everybody, some women discover that in marriage. Because if you've always gotten away with that, for so long, and you just go into marriage, then later you begin to say, because if you don't slow down, as long as it gets done, and it was a wise woman that helped me to learn that. One of my mentors, she's the one that really helped me. I did not know about that. As long as the job is done, does it have to be your way?
Exactly. Yeah. Good point.
Does it have to be that way? Then sometimes the timing, yes, you prefer a certain time because you know, okay, this comes, then I have my discussion with my husband all the time. So no, this is the reason why this is now because of B and C and D and E. But then sometimes you just have to take a step back if it's not a matter of life and death. So it's like learning to choose your battles, learning to choose, okay, what it is. And of course, being open to, to getting help. We're not superwomen, we're mortal beings. And this body, as you age, this body also gets weaker and tired. So we have to learn, all of that. I can keep going on, but I'll just stop. I'm sorry.
Sorry, I want to say something. Tola, you said something. So you're saying, I agree with you, but there are situations where you want something to get done at a particular time and they're not ready to do it that time. So are you saying what we should do is we shouldn't ask for help on a task that we want to be done immediately?
What I'm saying is that you should choose, if it's something that is really urgent, look at the situation. If it's something that the timing is very crucial and urgent, then of course you can be on that matter. Okay, please, I really need you to do this, that. But if it's something like, okay, let me say something like maybe take out the trash. It's like, that's just a simple example. Is it okay? Does he have to be taken like out at 7 p.m.? If he chooses to take it out at 10 p.m., that's on him. I don't know if that makes any sense. But then if it's like maybe they're going to pick out the trash Monday morning, then that's a different thing in terms of the timing. Does that make any sense? That, we're going to miss this, and then guess what? Even if you missed it, fine. Then next week they pick it up. Like, you just kind of have to, I'm being sincere. Like, otherwise it's mental health.
Sorry. See, it's not what you're saying. It's what the chat is going on.
The chat that is going on.
What did they say?
Ellen said that if it's due on May 16, tell them May 1st.
Okay, that's another one. So that's another one. So you just kind of have to, it's for your own mental health. It's for your own. Do you want to get stressed? Oh, and then when do you want to get stressed? How do you want to get stressed? So that's what I'll say.
Yeah.
Okay.
Talk about
Okay.
So I agree with everything you guys have said, but I want to throw something else in the cog, and I'm going to tie into what Aya said. I think that obviously we've been socialized to feel a particular way and to be the superwoman. It's literally socialization. And we're all professional women. So then we've also been primed to just meet deadlines. It's like prioritize, and we bring that into our lives. But what I'm learning is that as part of our femininity, we need to also remember to be vulnerable. Because I think that, and people have different kinds of relationship with their partners. So it comes in differently. But one thing, though, that women need to not be afraid to show is their vulnerability. Obviously, it's vice versa. But since we're talking to women, I'm being focused here on women. We need to not be afraid to show that we really need help, right? And a lot of times, we're afraid to say it because we don't want to be vulnerable. We don't want to show them how we feel. We don't want to show weakness. Well, it's okay. And so I think that in addition to everything all of you have said, that's an important thing. I think it's okay for you to be emotional. It's okay to not be afraid to be emotional. And please don't chug it up to my hormones. It's not the hormones, it's the reality of who I am, where I'm at, all these other things that I need help with. So I think that that's something that's really important as women. Don't be afraid to show vulnerability. Don't be afraid to lead with your vulnerability. It's okay. Don't be afraid to be this power woman and be this amazing person outside everyone looks up to, but in your house, be like, honey, this is it. This woman is tired. This woman needs help. This woman needs, support. You know what I mean? I think we need to do that. Yes. We're not showing these men that we too need help. We're not showing them, then sometimes they don't feel needed. They don't feel like we're even letting them do anything for us. To that. Everything else y'all said, I agree with. But I feel like women need to get to the point where we're actually tapping into our vulnerability and showing men that, hey, If we're in this together, we need help. We need you guys to be there and support us.
And yeah, just to add to that, and also realize that it's only a one-time thing. Even if you said something once, just it's a continuous thing. And that's how you also have the conversations with that relationship, and you get to understand each other and help each other. I don't think because I said it last month, you should know this month. That's just I like what you said, just the vulnerability. Let's be vulnerable. Yeah. Thank you.
Ellie, you raised your hand. Go ahead.
Yeah, but it's something that I do want you to address, Pastor. It's a message on Facebook, and a lot of the time we think that way. And I used to do that too. I don't want to send Purity or anybody else come down to come do something, but I'm afraid of the mess. I don't want to come down and clean up the mighty mess. So someone posted something on Facebook. I don't know if the rest of you saw it. It doesn't have to be my way, but most times it is done when it is done with a lot of mess. And I get to spend more time and energy cleaning up the mess. I mean, what do you guys have to say to that?
Okay. Let's be truthful to ourselves. And this is the reason why I asked this question, is that we need to understand that every man has their own strength. There are some men that if you give them a toolbox, they'll just be looking at it like, what in the world is this?
Mm-hmm.
But they can cook. They can help you clean up. So don't give a toolbox to a man that does not want to do that. Get someone to do it. Pay somebody to do it. So you need to understand that every human being has their own strength and their weaknesses. There's no Superman, Superwoman anywhere. And so if you realize that you're asking him to do something he cannot do, if you can't do it, get somebody to do it. Now, let me give you an example. If my husband can't clean the house, scrub the showers and everything, sir, can we get someone to come clean? A cleaning agency, let them come in and clean once or twice a month. So what you will be cleaning on a weekly basis will be less than what it is. It will just be maintenance as it may be. Am I making sense? And then when you realize that this man cannot, just give him the ones he can and you do it yourself. Don't say he must do it. And so if he doesn't do it, you end up getting more mess and you have to clean up because maybe he now puts the plate where the spoons are supposed to be, or put the pot somewhere else, and you end up looking for pots when you're about to cook. So it doesn't make sense. And Tola just said it right. No size fits all at all. No size fits all. Learn to know your partner. Celebrate their strength. Help with the weaknesses. That gives you normalcy, makes you normal, and you don't stress yourself when you're not supposed to. It reduces the stress, it reduces the tension between both of you. And at the end of the day, it just makes life easier for you. Honestly, I don't know why I would rather want to make life easier for me.
Mm-hmm.
The Bible says, love your neighbor as yourself, not love your neighbor more than yourself. So in me trying to take care of myself, I'm creating a normal human being with an environment that people are able to condole and come in, as it may be. I'm not too stressful. I'm not too tired. I'm not angry at every little thing because I have to do it all. And so it's becoming, so you need to understand what you need to do. Check your strength as well. If you can't do it, please, if you cannot cook, there are some things you cannot cook and your husband likes it, order. See, it's not anything. And if he feels that you have to cook it, you have to learn it, then make sure you put it in the pot so that, I don't know. But the truth of the matter is that it has to be that you're both in agreement and you understand your strength as a woman, his strength as a man. And when you come together, you have come to a conclusion that you guys need to work it out and celebrate your strengths and your weaknesses and work it out. So if you give him something and you know he's going to mess it up, don't give it to him. Look for help. If you can't do it, look for it. Source it out as it may be. Source it out so that you yourself can get rest. I know it's hard, it's going to cost money, but there's nothing that doesn't cost money these days. And the money you're saving, believe you me, cannot keep you from dying. If you're stressed out and all those other conditions begin to come in one by one at the end of the day, your money cannot save you from dying. That's the honest truth. So you need to take care of yourself. And taking care of yourself also means you're outsourcing some of the things. Because like they said, the older you get, the more you need help. And that's the honest truth. You don't have to do everything. So at this point, I'm going to thank every one of you. Oh my goodness. Can we go on and on? I'm super excited. Thank you so much for joining. To all our viewers all over the world, we're excited. And I'm sure you will get that when the next live event will be. But please, if you have any questions, any concern, the Facebook, we have social platforms, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, just get on any one of them and we'll get back to you. We have the email address that will be shown on the screen as well. It's also on Facebook. You can email any one of us and I can assure you, I'll get it to them to be able to answer the question and we'll get back to you. So to all these amazing women, to Dr. Akobo, to Tola, to Eno, to Aya, to Ellen, thank you so much for joining. And to all our viewers, we'll see you next time. Have a blessed evening. Blessings.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you.